co-host, Cowboy Joe 64.
I am your father.
Just to get the Cowboys 2 good games to hopefully understand that they need to go receiver and go high with this next pick.
Yeah, that's really what this is gonna be about. All right, you looking live at Father and Son Cowboys and Sports Talks. I'm the host, DJ. I tell you what, aka Jules, and I'm joined with Cowboy, my dad, Cowboy Joe, my co-host, and our good friend B Bird. And we are back with another one. The day before the game starts, y'all want to say what's up to the people and kind of just jump it off and let everybody know what to expect and what we thinking.
So what's up, people? Appreciate you guys joining the show, and B Bird, we appreciate you joining, and I always look forward to talking with you. Go ahead and promote your channel and where they can find you.
Yeah, this is B Bird. I started the channel B Bird Cowboys. If everybody can go over there and check it out, I'd appreciate it. These fine gentlemen have given me the pleasure of being on their show, and I definitely appreciate them. I have a affinity for these guys, man, because I like their camaraderie between father and son, and the tradition that they're passing down. But yeah, if you get a chance, B Bird Cowboys on Twitter and on YouTube. So just give me a holler, man, and whenever you get a chance, we'll talk some football. We're getting closer to the season, so it'll be a little bit more X's and O's talk. And just see where we go, man. I think that we're going to do, it's going to be an interesting year. We got to see where it goes. So that's it for me.
Yes, sir. And I put the link down in the link is at the bottom of the video, you all, for B Bird's channel. That's it right there. I'm going to keep it up right there.
So I sent B Bird some topics that we can talk about. So, it looks like Patrick No C Walker. Sorry about that. Check him out, Patrick No C Walker. He posted that Diggs and Guyton are looking like they're going to play. So I want to ask you guys: do you think that's a smoke screen, or are we going to really see Diggs and Guyton in this game? What do you think, B Bird?
Well, I don't know, but I tell you what I like. I want to see Diggs of 2022. The Diggs that shut down Chase. That shut down Cooper Kupp. That shut down a lot of wide receivers. It wasn't his best interception year, but him going one-on-one against some of the best wide receivers in the league, man, and him coming up on top was one of the most amazing things that I've seen. Diggs is my favorite player on the team. I just like how he goes about his business. So I'm definitely don't want to see the Diggs that they brought out last year, but I thought he rushed back. I want to see the one when he's fully healthy and ready to lock down any cornerback that that comes around. So I'm hoping that he's back to what we've seen in his height. He's still a young player, so I'm hoping he's back. And I'll tell you what, man, you have him and Bland playing atop of their game. That's going to help out our defense a whole lot, man. So it was a great surprise to get him back as soon as we did. So I'm happy about that. I just want to see him come back, at the top of his game. Guyton is good to get him back. He needs to get the reps, but it's not, the fall off. I think between a top of the notch Diggs and the next cornerback that would take his place versus Guyton and the next person that would take his place. The drop off at cornerback is way bigger than the Guyton. So I'm more concerned about the cornerback position right now than Guyton's position. But to have them both back is always a good thing, man.
Yeah, I totally agree with that 100%. I think that Diggs has a point to prove, and so he's kind of going to come back, and I think he's going to be I think he said it himself that he was going to be about 75 to 85%. So I feel like he thinks that his 75 to 85% is better than most. So I think that it's not a smoke screen, that he is actually going to be back. I think that he has a point to prove, and he's going to try to show that he's back. And I just want to see the results. And hopefully, like you said, hopefully it's a couple of years ago Trayvon that we seen. And then with Guyton, I had I had high hopes for Guyton this season. I thought that throughout the offseason he was really focused and he was really taking care of business. And so I hope we get to see that pans out. But I do think it's going to be he'll be on a snap count. I think it'll be between him and Nate Thomas. I think that'll be what we see. And like I said, my whole thing on the season is that I think that if our tackles, if Terrence Steele and Guyton and Nate Thomas can play league average, then we'll have a good year. I think we're a playoff team if they can play league average.
Yeah.
So I think with this defense, they play a little bit more zone. So I think that's actually going to help Diggs. It's going to allow him to keep things in front of him. So that's going to really, I think, help him out coming back off this injury. And I do think Nate Thomas and Guyton will probably kind of rotate. I'm curious to see how that actually works. So excited to see Diggs. I'm excited about Bland. I was a supporter of Bland, and my thing with Bland and Diggs is I feel like we should just force teams to play them both. We shouldn't say we got to have one or the other. So I like the idea of Bland and Diggs on the field. And then I like Elam as well. He had a good camp, so I'm sure we're going to see him tomorrow. And then a couple of the guys they picked up, one of the guys, his name escapes me at the moment. I really like his film. So I think our secondary is going to be it's going to be okay. And it looks like Donovan Wilson is still starting, which I thought that was a little bit of a surprise. I thought they would figure out a way to get Wanye or some other guys in the lineup, but I am a Donovan Wilson fan. If they play him the right way, I think he can have a good night as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with it. I think that Donovan Wilson. Okay, so he's a captain. Okay, so that
I
means
saw that. Yeah.
yeah, so that means to me that means that hey, he's been an enforcer, or he's been true to his personality. He's he had a down year last year because he came back off an injury. He missed the first couple games, or he was hurt halfway through them games. So I think with him having a full camp, a full off season, this is gonna be prime time. Dono, if Eberflus can use him right, he'll
Mm-hmm.
be effective. And I also think that since we don't have Micah, I think that with the Micah trade, I feel like our defense doesn't really have a weakness like it used to. Like it used to be that you can just run the ball up the middle on us, and that was kind of a weakness. You can run the ball up the middle, and you can if you can stand in there without getting hit by Micah, if you can pass the ball around, you can be pretty successful with that. But I think that um, since we don't have Micah anymore, and we got Kenny Clark, and then the way our linebackers have been, uh, we showed up the linebacker position, I think it's going to be a chess match. I don't think that they're going to be able to come in with the game plan that they had at the beginning, because I don't think that they're going to be as successful as they think they are running the ball. And I also don't think that, like when you play the Cowboys, I feel like when you have Micah, you got to be like, okay, where is Micah? He going to get a couple sacks a game. That's happening. It's happening off top. But now you don't know that. You don't know what to expect off the edge now. So you really don't know. They really, it's going to be a chess match. I don't think it's going to be easy peasy like they think it is. I think our defense is going to be better than they thought it was.
So I'd like to just transition since you brought it up, and we can kind of get this out the way and get our last kind of words in on this, because it's going to go into it. Let me give y'all my take on Michael Parsons, and I'm a critical thinker, man. That's just what I am. So I don't have just a linear way to think. I think about a lot of things. So these things are gonna kind of sound like they're contradicting each other, but if you listen to me, I'll say it out. So Michael Parsons' negotiation was totally Jerry's fault, right? Like he didn't go through the proper protocol to start it. And anytime you start something that way and it doesn't end right, it's the person that started it the wrong way. So I didn't like the way he handled it. I didn't like the way he handled the player. I don't like how he threw the player under the bus. I just didn't like all the negative publicity that the player had to take. Now, let me tell you this. I wasn't the biggest fan of Micah. I liked him on the field, but I also felt like Micah, like I didn't like the Micah podcast. And there's some guys out there that some of my content creators that I like, and they vouch for that. Like a guy can have a podcast that don't make a difference. I think a lot of locker room information comes out that don't need to come out, and that's not how you bring it. Look, it can't do any good for the locker room. It only do bad. So that was just my opinion. I like, I'm a culture guy, so that's just my opinion. Also, I thought Micah got outside the framework sometime of what the defense was trying to chase sacks. And that's how you get outside, outside containment not being held and this and other things because you're running inside trying to, get a sack or whatever. So, see, that's two different things there. I support him in the negotiation. He was wrong there. But as a player, I liked him, but I wasn't, I'm not that big on him. But here's the last thing. This trade can actually work out for us, man. I really think it can, and it's not a lot of scenarios where it can, but it can work out for us. So I think that a great defensive, a really good defensive tackle is just as valuable as a great defensive end. I think if you're a disruptor and a run stopper from the inside, it's tougher for a quarterback than on the outside, right? And so, we got Kenny Clark, and if he had the injury last year, he's healthy now from what he's saying. If we can get that push and him and Osa from the inside, man, and we got enough bodies that have sacked people on the defensive end room. We got guys there that can get after the quarterback. We got athletes, Sam Williams. We got guys that can. The rookie Donovan Ezraku. We got guys that know how to get to the quarterback. Now I'm not saying he knows how on a professional level. I know on the college level he did. And I always forget the kid name we got from back from Washington. But all those guys could get after the quarterback. If they get after the quarterback and kind of get, make up for some of the because even what's the kid from Washington name, man? I forgot his name.
Dante Fowler.
Dante Fowler, thank you. I was listening to Boss. Boss said that Fowler per play got more pressures than Micah did a couple of years ago. He just didn't get enough playing time because of politics. But if he gets the right amount of playing time, if we get all that together, man, now we got remember a couple of years ago, we didn't really have a linebacker room, man. We had safeties playing linebackers. We got real linebackers playing now. If we can get the cornerbacks healthy and all that stuff it's a scenario where we're a better team, to be honest with you, man. So I'm hoping that scenario comes true because our defense has been our Achilles heel. Every time that we've had an offense that was ready to go far, our defense was the ones that was keeping us back, man. So hopefully that with and here's one more thing, and I'll let y'all go. I'm sorry for hogging the time. But don't you think these players feel a little disrespected by thinking like, oh, we can't get no pass rush now that Micah's gone? So they're gonna have a extra something in their jetpack to get after the quarterback, man, because they want to prove people wrong. So, I think it's a scenario here where this thing works well for us, man.
So me, I think I'm pretty much aligned with where you are. I was talking to my best friend last night. We was talking about the trade, just kind of recapping what it is. So, I think I agree. I think Jerry, was the issue here the way he handled it. It's 32 teams in the NFL. It's only one owner in the NFL that would have got involved in this contract, and we happen to have him here. I do like Kenny Clark. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
And so I was a big fan of Kenneth Murray coming out of OU.
Me too.
And so everything you mentioned, I think I'm pretty much aligned there. I think, obviously I wasn't happy about the trade when it at first happened. What I do admire about all the content creators, just to be honest, everybody is like, we got business at hand. Let's get back to business. It ain't really a whole lot you can do about it at this point.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing we can do. It is what it is. So just my observing the content creators, last weekend and through this week, I'm pretty I'm kind of geek for the game and now that the things have kind of gone by the wayside. So at this point, it's all about Dak, CD, and like I said, just want to see the guys play like Kenneth Murray. And I like Kenny Clark. I do think you're right, Jules. Our defense, I'm gonna be really surprised if teams can run on us the way they could. And so I think that's also one of the chess matches tomorrow. Because I think the linebacker room and the defensive tackle room, I think the Eagles are going to be caught off guard with that tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, I'm piggyback on what you all said, totally, 100%. I mean, if you're looking, and then shout out to my granddad, Melvin Finley Jr. He's on. He said who's considered the winners and losers of the Michael Parsons trade. My answer to that is we will have to see. This is something that you'll have to grade. Uh, to be honest, a year from now. That's
Maybe 2029.
yeah, because we got two first round picks, so we got to pick for next year, and we got to pick the year first round pick the year after that. So once those are completed, then you will grade the overall assessment, and that's what I'm gonna say. But I'm gonna say exactly what the OGs just said. Me, this is what I've been saying, and this is kind of I've been all over the place and feeling all over the place, but this is what I've settled with, and so this is what I've settled with. What I've settled with is if this was my team or one of us or one of our teams, we would definitely be able to make this team better with what we got. Okay, and then I also looked at it like this. Um, Now, Jerry's fault. Of course, it's Jerry's fault. Okay. There's no other this you can start off by saying it's Jerry's fault because Michael should have been signed before this negotiation period. He was the last person in his draft class to be signed. And he's the best player in that draft class. So
Yeah.
that just lets you know right there. That's red flag number one. Red flag number two is has Jerry help the Cowboys in previous negotiations? He has not. He didn't do even though CD Lamb got signed. Jerry didn't do that right. When Dak got signed, he didn't do that right either. He should have signed Dak. They're always signing players at the least optimal time. So
Yeah.
he's not a good GM. Okay. And we know that as Cowboy fans. We know that. And on top of that, Jerry Jones has made mistakes as a general manager that if any other general manager would have made, they would have been fired a long time ago. So this is not nothing to do with Micah. Like my dad said, if he was on any other team, this deal would have been done a couple years ago. Okay.
So, but one thing I was thinking about today, man, and I don't know if y'all remember the Randy Gregory contract fiasco, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you can get dumb luck, right?
Right.
So we didn't sign him. It wasn't because we didn't want him. We didn't sign him because of some language in the contract. But it
Mm-hmm.
ended up being good for us as a team because he kind of went downhill from there. And
And
so we
and
and
Micah
so
was born after that.
yeah. So what I'm trying to say is you can do something for the wrong reason, the right outcome happens. So this could be one of those situations, man. And I got a question for y'all, man, and this kind of came up today. I'm gonna make a statement and y'all tell me if it's true or not. Um, I was thinking about this, trying to get my light back on. I was thinking about this breakup of Micah and Jerry or Micah and the Cowboys is
Mhm.
the biggest breakup since, and I was thinking all the way back, and I'm talking about in the NFL. Think about this. It's probably the biggest breakup since Jerry and Jimmy. And I couldn't think of one between those two time spans that when somebody was at the top of their game, they went to another team. I just don't recall that happening.
Well, I thought about that a lot because, man, I can tell you where I was when Jimmy and Jerry announced they were not going to be working together. I was actually in California at Disneyland, and the lady I work for, my boss that I work for, she called me on my cell phone from Dallas, and I was in LA, and she called me. I didn't really know what had happened, but I thought it was something going on with work. But she was like, "Can you believe, Jerry fired Jimmy?" But I thought about that a lot. To be Bird. So man, it's just again one of these things that happen, and this is the part of being a Cowboy fan. You
Yeah,
gotta just
yeah,
roll with it. You gotta look at are you going to be a fan of the team or are you going to be a fan of Jerry? And most of us, we kind of know. And I was telling my son, this is not really a nice thing to say. I was telling him the other night, he in his mid-30s. So it's going to be a time when Jerry won't be the owner of the Cowboys, in
yeah,
his lifetime.
yeah,
So, that's just the truth of it. So, but we just got to deal with what's happening now.
yeah,
And in our case, we have saw some championships. And so, I had
Yeah.
to just remind him, it's like, man, this is like, you got to just roll with it because at some point, Jerry won't really be involved. We getting closer than that than we think.
But I just don't know. I don't know what the future holds behind that, man. And I guess we don't want to. We can kind of because Steven's coming up, and I don't know if he's not worse. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
that's what
He
I said
might be.
earlier. That's what I
Yes,
said earlier. I said,
Steven,
Steven is.
Steven gonna be your Jerry Jules.
Yeah, pretty much. So here's the thing. This is what I wanted to say to Cowboy fans and Cowboy Nation when it comes to this Micah trade, looking at it realistically too. I wanted to say this, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna say this. So Jerry and Steven and the Cowboys, okay, they looking at, okay, we know what Michael Parsons brings to the table. He's a phenomenal player, possibly one of the best players in the NFL. I mean, possibly the best player in the NFL, could be. Now, my thing is this. We didn't been to the playoffs with him, right? Over the last 4 years we've had him, we've been 12. We've been a 12-win team for the majority, right? And we've gotten in some playoff games, and we've seen the effect of having Micah in those playoff games. It did not get us over the hump, right?
Absolutely.
Well, now when you trade Micah and you get all of this cap space, and then now you get 2 additional first round picks. So really, you have to look at it and you have to say, I have 5 darts really. I got the cap space. I can make something happen with that that'll get us over the hump in free agency if I'm aggressive. Then I have 2 first round picks next year that I can either package and get a player, or I can just sit back and select both depending on where they are. Those are 2 more darts that we can throw that maybe get us over the hump. And then the following year, I have 2 more. So to me, those are 5 darts that might get us over the hump. And so you just gotta just roll with it. If this was, like I said, if this was my team, I can promise you we would be a lot better after I throw those darts. So
So the thing I thought about today, man, was, and I think I may have tweeted this, but I don't know because we was having some conversations with somebody. When was our all in year?
okay, just back up. Okay, I'll come back.
I cannot remember when we had an all in year. We're always building for the future, and then when that day comes, then we build for the future again. And so, when is the year that we say, no, this is the year that it all needs to come together? Because so you can't just draft everybody, right? Like you
Right.
can't just have a whole team full of draft. Then you'll have guys that's 33 and you have guys that's 21. So at some point you got to go out and say that, my core guys are 25. I need to get some 26, 27-year-old guys in here to get over the hump. And I just don't remember when we had a season where they said, hey, these 2 years are we going for it? We're going to go for it. And they just have not done that. And that's the thing that kind of stands out with me as far as them roster building, because they're kind of all over the place in roster building.
Yeah.
Well,
I think, well, I'm gonna say this real quick. I think that if I had to just say in their mind what was their all-in year, it was the year that they let Dak's rookie year, Zeke's rookie year, when they drafted Zeke, with a first round pick that high, a running back, and then when they decided to keep Dak in instead of letting Romo finish his career, and when they said, you know what, we're gonna just roll with this like it is. I
Yeah.
think in their mind that was their version of all in, not for us. But for
Yeah.
them, that was a decision that they made. That they thought that in their mind, they thought that they were doing the right thing, and they thought that they would be able to win a championship with that. That's
Yeah.
what they
Yeah.
thought.
Well,
That will be close to it. Yeah. And that was a while ago. That was 2016, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And here's what I think is gonna, what I predict is gonna happen too. Now they can absolutely screw it up because that's kind of what they've been doing for the last 30 years. But I also think another result of this trade with their cap space, with their picks, we might see all in just because Jerry is trying to rebound from the backlash he's getting from this trade, B Bird. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Tyler Smith sign, if we see Pickens sign,
I would love that.
and if we see them for the first time spending money in free agency, I wouldn't be shocked because really, uh, they tend to kind of go against the grain. So I would I think we might just see them just say, hey, for the first time, we are gonna go all in. So just so Jerry can try to prove everybody right. And the reality is with Dak, with this team, we got like a 2 or 3 year window. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if they don't go all in.
I mean,
Yeah.
they got Pickens. I mean, you see, they got Pickens. We did. Nobody expected them to do that. They don't do that. And
Yeah.
so, if
Well,
they,
they do. They really do though. If you think about it. So Gilmore and Cook,
mm,
they like to add via the trade more. They like to add via free agency because they don't want to bid on anybody. They know
yeah,
what the contracts are, so that's why they did it. And then I would have with the Pickens and try to get a contract done before we even came over here, so we can have that thing settled. But I,
yeah,
I definitely agree with what you're saying because see, the ego can do some good things for you for us because now that this breakup was so public, right? So it's always going to be how's Micah doing versus how the Cowboys are doing. So Jerry don't want to look bad. You know what I'm saying? So he may do some things because, hey man, look, I don't want to look bad out here in these streets, man. So
Yep.
I got to do something. Like we might actually go get somebody. But I agree with the draft picks. I think Jules was saying this. Man, I would try to package that for some players I know that's good, not ones I'm going to guess on in the draft. So if I know a guy's 25 years old, I know he can help me on my team, trade for him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about this year, maybe, but next year or whenever. If you see somebody out there, this guy could be with our team for 5 years or so. Trade for him. Give up
Yeah.
the draft pick if that's what you want to do. I mean, because that's what you could do. A couple things with draft picks. You can draft them or you can trade. So
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
And you got to remember too, in the next two drafts, we're gonna have our second round picks, our third round picks, and our fourth round picks. And then B Bird, you know this. Jimmy built his team with late round picks. And
Yeah.
so it's always good players in the fourth, fifth, and sixth round. You just got to pick them. Now they haven't done a good job with that over the years, but if you just have a couple of good drafts and you mix it in with the veterans, this thing may end up being better than we think it is. So Jules, acknowledge the people that's in the chat. You got of course we saw Melvin Finley Jr. We know who that is. Yeah, Cowboys politics. It was somebody else down there. Of course, the Big Time
What's up,
Show
Cowboy
is
politics?
on with us.
yeah.
And we got to talk to Big Time Show offline about something about an idea I have, B Bird.
And that was
Okay.
and that
And
was
scroll up. Who was that? It was
that was
somebody else.
Nana was in the chat. That was actually
So
him.
it's Cowboy politics, and there was somebody below that. I don't think I can
Uh,
scroll up,
let me
but
see.
we do want to.
Ken Wright.
Okay, so we do want to acknowledge them for joining our show, and we appreciate the support. So the next thing I had on the topics here, let me pull it back up. B Bird.
Well, Uncle Keith said, "Who's out there that right now, offensively and defensively, that we can make a trade for with these first round picks?" And so that's what I'm kind of looking at right now.
I don't think we really know. The
Yeah, I
name
don't
that
really
comes to
know.
mind for me. I would love to kick the tires on Bijan Robertson just to see if he's available. That's somebody that I would look at. It's a lot of talk about Brees Hall. What do you think about Brees Hall, B Bird?
I don't. Yeah, a lot of people like him. I think he's a good back. I just don't know about what the trade value will be. And Bijan, I think you got to wait to see what. I think what you do is you wait to see how teams do.
Mm-hmm.
If they're 1-4, then they're more likely to trade for him, right? But everybody got hope right now. Nobody's trading Bijan Robinson right
Yeah, not
now.
right
Right?
now.
Not
Yeah.
going to do that. And so you got to wait till teams are, kind of look like they're going to be out the playoffs or whatever, and then you may be able to go snatch somebody up. So I'll tell you what, I'd rather just go with the running backs we got now and to see what we got, to be honest with you. You never know what's going to happen with one of these, with the Javonte Williams or somebody. They could still have, these guys are still young, man. Javonte is, I think, 24 years old. So he may be back from his injury. We don't know what he got. We haven't seen him in preseason. So we got some games to evaluate him and then, to see how our season go, see how he's doing. So I think we got some time on that. I wouldn't do anything fast.
So Jules last year he won the fantasy league championship with his league that he was in, and one of his backs well, it was before the year before that. You came in second place.
Mm-hmm.
So one of his backs was Javante. So you liked him a lot. So
Yeah,
what did
yeah.
what did you like about him?
I mean, he just came in. He came in clutch. I mean, he was one of those players that was like out there, kind of just like nobody had picked him up. And I don't know when he was playing. I think it was Denver. Whenever he was, whoever the starting running back was for Denver, they got hurt, and he stepped in. And so just by volume alone, he put up a lot of points. And so I just, he was on my radar. And the same thing with Bucky Irving last year. Bucky Irving and their running back, the other running back. I think his last name is Jones, but those kind of players, you never know. You just get them. They still be out there because teams don't pick them because they're they're like a second tier running back.
Right.
They're not starters, but then they're thrust into that position, their starting role when the starter gets hurt, and the next thing you know, they're actually good. And so, you know, that I feel like me with the running back situation, I feel like Jaden Blue and Javante are going to be good enough,
Yeah.
honestly.
If we get the right blocking, those guys are going to be able to run behind them. And I think with the addition of Booker, we already got Tyler Smith and BB in the middle. Our middle ought to be fortified. So we're going to see tomorrow night. But I like our running back room. I think running backs have been devalued and they just kind of toss them around the league. But these guys, the top 100 was the guy, number one guy was Saquon Barkley. He's not the top paid guy because of his position, but he's valuable. I never understood why a guy that can actually touch the ball 25 times is not valued in your offense. It makes no sense to me. So anyway, I think I like our running back room. I don't love it, but I like it, man. I think we should look at it and see. We hadn't seen them in preseason either, so we need to look at it and just see what they do in these first few games and evaluate them then.
If this was my team and I had to roll out there with Hunter Lupke, Jaden Blue, Phil Maffa, and Javante Williams, I'd be fine.
So
Yeah,
Hunter Lipke got signed. I was a little surprised. Now you love Hunter Lipke, Jules. You've been talking about
Yeah,
him.
man.
So maybe you'll finally get a chance to see him. They done paid him. When they pay somebody, they pretty much gonna play him. So you'll
Every
probably
single
get your Hunter Lipke fix.
if you just go back and watch him play, every single play he make is a wow play. Every single one. I mean, like every single one. If it's just a simple 7 yard catch, it'd be like a ball that was way over here somewhere that he caught. Or if it's a simple 7 yard run, it'd be like, yeah, he got hit 3 times and he
Mm.
still got the 7 yards. So I mean, and he was like that in college too. If you go watch
yeah.
him in college, some of those players like Emmett, they just have a way of being shifty and knowing how to torque their body a certain way to get 3 more yards or to fall to get this way or to just move. Simply he got that. He
He
got
got a bad rap after that fumble in Miami,
he did.
Yep.
Yeah.
and that's just a mistake, man. We got to. You can't look at that from an emotional level and just say the guy made a mistake. It was a bad part of the field. If it was on the 50-yard line, nobody would really be. It's just, and so you can't throw the baby out with the
And
bathwater in that
And that
situation.
he shouldn't even have been in. He shouldn't even have been on that play because Tony Pollard could have
Oh
just
yeah, you're right.
put his
Yeah,
head down for
yeah,
1 yard, but
yeah,
the down before. So he shouldn't
yeah,
even,
absolutely.
But they just, Mike McCarthy just shut him down after that. He
Yeah,
was just like, what was that about?
So I do want to ask you guys next. I want to talk about Dak. So I thought when Dak came back from his ankle injury, we played Tampa in Tampa. So that was a game. Going into the game, I really wasn't sure how we were going to look. So I've been thinking about this game tomorrow night, fellas. I got a feeling that Dak is going to come in tomorrow night and he's going to play like he did in that Tampa game when he came back from that injury. I think he's on a mission. He's got the receivers. So I just got a feeling Dak is going to have a big game tomorrow night. What do you think about that, B Bird?
well, I'm glad you brought this game up because there was a game. I looked this up. We've been in this situation before, and I don't know if y'all remember. We played the New York Giants coming off the Super Bowl the second time they beat New England. And do y'all remember? Now I looked the name up. It was a Kevin Ogletree game when he got 2 touchdowns. I think it was Thursday night football, of course, and we beat them in New York. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times, and I'm gonna get to the Dak thing because we're talking about the first game. A lot of times, man, these teams have so much on their plates when they're opening up the Super Bowl win. The families want to be there. They got to get tickets. They got to get everybody seated. It's so much ceremony going on that sometimes football gets lost, right? Where the other team comes in and you're the Cowboys, and hey, you come in, you're focused, right? And the other team got their mind is everywhere else prior to. So I think we're catching Philadelphia at a great time. I always think it's good playing Philadelphia first because of the weather situation.
Yep.
It's good weather down there now versus January. So I'd rather play them here in Philadelphia early and then play them in Dallas later because we're going to have good weather in both of them. But man, I'm not concerned about Dak Prescott, right? So Dak is the most over criticized quarterback in the league. Uh, he's the most criticized. I may have said this before. Think about this in sports. Him and LeBron James. No one else is there, right? They make shows off the Cowboys and Dak Prescott, whole debate shows off of those guys and LeBron James. But Dak is always, they don't have him in the top 10. I think he's a top 10 quarterback. I think that Dak, he feels comfortable playing against the NFC East. That's why his record is so good. He's going to feel comfortable coming in and going into New England. And the thing about the Cowboys, man, is that we play really good with low expectations. So the expectations are low.
Yep.
We kick butt. Ask Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the playoffs. When we go there with no expectation, we kicked it. It wasn't even close. And the same thing is, man, we don't play real well with pressure on us at home when we're supposed to win. But we play really well on the road. I think Dak's going to have a heck of a game. I do want to establish the run. I do want to see some of that done. I do want to stop the run. But, we got those wide receivers and we got Ferg, man. So I think Dak's going to have whatever game we need him to have. If we run the ball good and we don't need a whole bunch of Dak, we won't use him. If we not running the ball, we need a lot of Dak, then we're going to use him. He's going to show up like he always does.
I think I agree, 100%. I mean, I feel like I agree 100%. I feel like you're going to see Dak is comfortable. And I feel like his connection with CD and George Pickens is going to throw a lot of people off a little bit. I think they're going to be connected. I think that their chemistry is going to be good. And I also think that this Cowboys team is really, when I look at it like, I always would say, growing up, I would always say, now maybe it's just because I'm such a Cowboy enthusiast that the game slows down when I'm watching the Cowboys, maybe. Because I would always mean like, man, these other teams, they be running around. They be just running around smashing. It's like they be moving super fast. And I would feel like the Cowboys wasn't really moving that fast. But over the last few years, I'd be like, nah, the Cowboys be moving. Like when like especially the year before last, especially on turf games when we have to play inside, it's like a track team.
Yeah.
And so CD is I got into a debate with my cousin about 2 years ago about CD being a dog and who had that dog mentality and who had that, besides Micah, and who had it on the offense. And so I was just arguing him down that the dogs that we have on offense is CD, it's Ferguson, and it's Dak. They all have that type of mentality to where they just going, no matter what. And so they proved me right that year when with plays like being smashed and being hit in the mouth against Detroit, and you down there on the 1 yard line, and then it's just like, nah, we're not going out like that. We get CD over the top for 100 for a 95-yard TD. That's what's gonna happen. Or that whole year when it's just like, listen, they gotta line up and they gotta stop our passing game. They're not gonna be able to do it because we them guys. So it's just like, we have that, and now we got George Pickens on the line. I think it's gonna be a totally different dynamic in the red zone. What I'm gonna be paying attention to the most is the red zone with George Pickens, or what Shotty is able to scheme us open down there, and I'm also gonna be looking at what Shotty does to take some of the pressure off of that, like using Turpin. They're not gonna be used to seeing Turpin like they gonna see him tomorrow. They're not gonna be they're not gonna be used to seeing Hunter Lupke, and they're not gonna be used to seeing that. But also, I wanted to say this too. I feel like this is Dak's team. I feel like Dak is the reason why Shotty is the head coach. I feel like Dak was the one that was like, nah, we need to get this guy. This guy needs to be our head coach because, I feel like Shotty and Dak, I feel like Dak is a Shotty guy and Shotty is a Dak guy. And that's kind of how this whole thing came together. So I feel like they're going to be running the offense, and I feel like they're going to be doing a good job. I feel like, it's just going to be up to certain key pieces like the tackles. You know what I'm saying? If tackles play good, then hey, we good.
So B Bird on Shotty, with the situation with the trade, it's his first game. So, how are you feeling about Shotty going into this first game? What are you looking to see from Shotty?
Well, I'm looking for some ingenuity because he said he kept it vanilla in the preseason. They want to show a lot. So that means that you got some stuff. Clayton on the offensive line. I always thought that we need to be more imaginative on our offensive line. I think we're going to get that. I call it a technology advantage, right? When you get good coaching, it's technology. You got a technological advantage. We've not had that, man. When was the last time we had the best coaches on our team? We have not had that in a while. So I think offensively, we hired the better guys. So we should look good on that standpoint. So I don't want to go back to this, man, but if we can get Jerry to kind of get out the way and let Shotty be the voice, the power structure, the go-to of the team, and let Jerry just kind of sit in the back. If he can just, I know he can't do it, but if that happens, man, I think Shotty can do a lot with his team. Now he can build it in his image, right? He can build a team that want to run around, have fun, hit people, and play football, and and show some brotherhood or whatever. We're going to see a lot because we hadn't saw much in the preseason. We're going to see a lot about him tomorrow night, but I'm looking forward to him. I like to listen to him. After a while, I kind of settle in. I don't think he was the first choice as far as the head coach. He wasn't my first choice, but after looking at it, he's been around for a long time. This is his first time being a head coach, so he's seen some things and knows some things. It's opposite of what Jason Garrett was. Jason Garrett only had like 1 year coaching quarterbacks in Miami. We fast tracked him to offensive coordinator, then fast tracked him to head coach. He had no lineage to come from. This guy has nothing but lineage to come from. And so I think we'll just see what he does tomorrow. And tomorrow's not indicative of our season, man. Like if we don't win, we go out there and play with some heart, fight them to the end, man. That's something to build on. This is the Super Bowl champions we're playing against, man. So this isn't the New York Giants of last year or anybody like that, or Cleveland Browns. The Super Bowl champions, man, they're getting rings for a reason. So if we don't win the game, man, it's not the end of the world. But if we perform with something that we can build off of, I tip my hat to Shotty and look down the line and say, okay, we could do some things with this team.
So I do have a theory that we're going to be a better team the second half of the season. And that Tampa game that I referenced earlier, we actually lost that game, but it carried over because we played so well. We really, it carried over. So we could see the same thing tomorrow. And Vic Fangio, Dak over the years, he struggled against Vic Fangio in a few games, but they played him in Miami a couple of years ago. So I really think that Dak at this point he's mastered the offense. I don't think that defense is gonna cause him any problems. So, and I think I'm looking forward to Dak having a good game. Tomorrow is going to be kind of choppy because grandson got football practice. You're going to have to watch the game on your phone, I think, and I got a chapter meeting, so it's going to be kind of sketchy. I'm probably not going to be able to see the game until like the second quarter is what's going to happen. So I'll be, hitting you guys up to figure out like, what's going on. But, definitely excited to get the season started. I'm not a big fan of Thursday night games. What about you, B Bird?
I don't like them much either. They kind of go away from tradition. But
OGs,
yeah. Hey, the sooner football comes back, the better on this first Thursday night. So I'm excited for it. But I did want to add one thing about the offense, or two things. One thing about our offense of the last few years, we had guys that had good speed, but with Blue and Turpin, we got guys with great speed. And I always think that, like, if I'm a safety and a cornerback, if I got guys that run a 4.5 or 4.6, I'm creeping close to the line of scrimmage because I'm not really afraid what happens if you get behind me, I can catch you. But when you got guys like Turpin and Blue, if they get behind you, man, you're just going to be running the track. You're just going to be following that number. They're going to be getting smaller and smaller as it runs away from you. So I think you have to, when you got a Turpin in the game, it changes the way the secondary has to play because they got to be cognizant of, this guy clocked the fastest speed last year in NFL, miles per hour. So, this guy can go, and Philadelphia is well aware of that. If we got him in as a third wide receiver, that means he's going to get a lot of playing time. I like that injection of speed into the lineup because it just makes people play a little bit farther back, man. And that helps the running game.
And I've seen just several shots is CD, Turpin, and Pickens in the same photo. So they got a little chemistry working there. So I'm glad you brought that up because that's an element that we really haven't talked about is Turpin. And again, just throw Ferguson in there. So look,
Yeah.
we got the people on offense, and I think Blue again. I think Blue is going to be a second half back. Of course, we're Texas fans, Jules and I, so familiar with his game. But yeah, I think, man, we got the offense that can really put up points and can challenge
Think
defenses.
about
I think we're gonna be better in the second half. So I really like Turpin and what he's gonna bring.
Yeah, me too.
Just imagine this. Just imagine, Mike McCarthy was never a good screen guy. He wasn't a good screen guy. Shoddy was, but Mike McCarthy wasn't. But can you imagine um, Blue on the screen with BB and Tyler Booker like in the front and Terrence Steele in the front? I mean, that's just like, come on now. Like, we should get that at least once a game. And that should be probably 60, 70 yards every time we do it. Just
Hey, hey, Joe remembers this, man. Back in the days, we were the best screen running team in football.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it just kind of went away. I think the screen is an awesome play, man. Especially when you're getting they pinning their ears back, pass rushing against you. Let them come on in, and I tell you what, you run a couple of screens, get 15, 20 yards on them. That pass rush will slow down too. Now it started making you think a little bit.
y'all remember, I think there was remember when we played the Steelers and Zeke took that screen all the way to
Yeah,
the house,
Yeah.
and
that's
then
his rookie year. His rookie year.
right, that year right there, every time they did that screen, it was just like, oh, it was just like,
Yeah,
it was dangerous. He did one against Detroit. It was just like, we need to get that back in our repertoire.
That was another game I actually went back and rewatched, fellas. It was an amazing game. Dez was great in that game too. So, well, tomorrow we gonna kick it off. It's finally here. We can stop talking about all the drama and get on the field and see what's going to happen. And so, B Bird, I'm gonna reach out to you. So we talked about doing after game shows.
yeah,
So I'll see if you are available. If we can hook up Friday night or Saturday night, whatever works best for you, so we can talk about this Thursday night game.
yeah.
And like I said, I'm gonna have to just kind of catch up and probably in the second quarter. I don't know what we're gonna do tomorrow. It's a lot of guys in my fraternity that are Cowboy fans. So, but I
Yeah.
haven't heard anything. So we probably gonna have to just figure it out, and then I'll be on the phone and trying to figure out. And it's gonna be guys with their phones out during the meeting watching this game. They're gonna be probably looking for it. So and then I'm on the board of directors, so I probably can't get away with it. But it's gonna be fun to watch. I really like the fact that we are playing Philly, like you said, B Bird, getting them there early. Now tomorrow, I just looked at the forecast. It's supposed to rain during the day,
Oh,
so
okay.
it's supposed to be clear tomorrow night. And but yeah, after watching them raise that banner, just looking forward to see what the guys gonna do. Excited about the season, and so Jules, we can go ahead and wind it down and just talk about what we're gonna be doing going forward. And you can talk about the project you're
Yeah, my
working
stuff is
on.
about
Okay.
yeah, my stuff is about to die. I don't know. My computer is it's not really working right now. So I'm about to log off anyway.
Okay. Well, one more time, B Bird, promote your show and how to find you.
Yeah, it's B Bird Cowboys on YouTube and Twitter. Y'all come. I'm posting videos right now. I hadn't went live in a while. I go live with you guys, but I will when things are on my mind. I will post one. I did drop one this week. So y'all check me out, man. Just I'm dropping like 15, 20-minute videos. Come by, like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate the support, and brothers, I appreciate y'all too, man. I love talking to y'all, man, and look forward to doing it even more so.
Absolutely. Looking
Absolutely.
forward to it.
But yeah. So that's it. So y'all want to wrap?
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap, and we'll be hooking up. I'm gonna reach out to B Bird offline. I'll hit you tomorrow, B Bird, during the day, and
Sounds good.
then we'll talk about if we're gonna just recap this game on Friday or Saturday, and then
Yeah,
we'll just take it from there.
sounds good, brother.
All right.
Okay. All right, appreciate everybody joining, and you guys have a good one, and let's go win this one.
Let's go win.
Y'all take it easy, man.
Take
All
it
right.
easy.